I went right into ranked and I was like top 20 on my first day.
Wow.
I remember being disappointed that I saw that top, like when I was looking at the rankings, I saw that top 20 was all diamonds.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, that's so cool. Diamond must be top 20. If you get top 20 in the world, you get diamond. But no, I was just the 21st diamond. So I was like bummed out. But that is exactly why Brawlhalla works the way it does now, because of my experience there. When I had the opportunity to design it myself now, I was like, I wanted to be top X because I thought that was so cool when I was on the come up.
Okay.
So hopefully some hopeful Brawlhallans these days are feeling that same feeling that I was feeling back in the day. And they're not just going to be the 151st Brawlhallan. They're going to push somebody out to get them.
It has to be the top 150.
Yeah, I like it.
No, that's great.
Welcome to Brawlhalla Origins. On this show, I interview notable members of the Brawlhalla community to talk to them about how they found Brawlhalla and progress to how involved they are with the community today. On today's episode, I interviewed Foda live at the Cobb Galleria inside the BCX venue on Championship Sunday. Foda is the current design lead and the former Director of Esports for Brawlhalla, and he used to be one of the best players in the game way back in the day. Brawlhalla Origins is presented by Brawl Academy. Brawl Academy will provide the most advanced and detailed courses and coaching specifically meant for helping beginner-level players get to Diamond. Brawl Academy is currently in a closed private beta and expected to launch to the public in early 2024, but if you want help quickly, replay reviews and coaching are now available. Sign up over at brawlacademy.com for more info. And with that, on with the show.
Welcome to episode 10 of Brawlhalla Origins, the season finale for season 1. And I am here live at BCX with the one, the only, Foda. How are you doing today, man?
What's up, Atrophius? Wow. I didn't realize this was the season finale.
Yes, you are the season finale episode of
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of big deals, we got the first match of top 4 and 2v2 happening like right behind us right now. So I'm already kind of feeling that intensity. Yeah, it's getting awesome.
It is finals day here at BCX. So we're gonna not talk too much about the tournament.
But we're gonna rewind, right?
We're gonna bring it back. We're going back to the origin.
Right.
So I want to talk to you.
Know, my bro?
I want to talk to you today about your origin in Brawlhalla. So let's take it all the way back.
Way back.
So how did you find Brawlhalla? And what inspired you to play it and sort of like get involved to the level that you did very early on?
I found it through Steam way back in 2015, I want to say. Me and my buddy Shadow, who you might remember, we played. We just played like every online co-op Steam game that was out, and we every week we would check for new ones.
Okay.
And eventually we saw Brawlhalla on there, had the co-op tag. And we were like, we like platform fighters. So when we found it was like, oh my God, this game exists. I don't know how we missed it, or if it just came out like on Steam that week. I mean, no, I know it did. So I don't know why it took us so long, but.
About how long ago was this?
The co-op tag. I mean, I want to say mid 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the middle. It was like. Axe had just came out right before I started.
Oh, okay.
I started the week after Axe.
Nice.
Or the week of Axe, maybe.
So if I remember correctly from your history, you got to be really good at the game back in the day.
Woo! Okay, sorry. Thank you. Obviously nowadays you'd whoop me in the game, so I feel good talking about when I was good.
Right.
But yeah, I played every platform fighter growing up, especially Smash 64. I grew up on Smash 64. I was playing, and a few people out there might know what I'm talking about, but I was playing the Calera net play servers.
Oh, okay.
Way before. So like basically as soon as people figured out how to play Nintendo 64 online with each other, I was in that scene playing Smash 64 with everybody.
Nice.
Some of the great players now, I was just some random to them. Like but in a small pool, there was maybe like 30 people online at a time playing Smash 64. So I got to be pretty good by necessity because I'm playing against people who are like so insane at the game. And it just so happened that Smash 64's mechanics were a little, and when I say this, you know, with an asterisk, that back in the day, before Brawlhalla had a fastball, before Brawlhalla had gravity canceling, you know, before Brawlhalla had dashing or dash jumping, the game was a little floaty.
Yeah.
It was a little floaty.
It was, yeah.
Which I was good at. I played Kirby and Jigglypuff in Smash 64. So I was used to having multiple jumps.
Right.
I was used to floating down slowly. And my favorite was doubles. I always loved to play doubles.
Right.
So in Brawlhalla, I was like so ready for doubles. And doubles ranked, 2v2v2 ranked didn't even exist when we started playing, right? It was, we would play free-for-all on stream, and we would just choose the colors correctly, so that we could do friendly fire. Because friendly fire didn't exist.
I had the BCS crew on for episode 9, and they talked about how they pitched BMG really hard for team damage.
Dude, we were all streaming it one day, and Timorous, he was just watching the stream, seeing what we were doing, and he was like, "Oh, it looks like you guys could use team damage."
Right.
And literally the next day, we had team damage.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
This was back in an era where Brawlhalla was patching like, it felt like weekly.
Imagine. When we were only on Steam, we were still in beta, we would just patch on a whim. It didn't like hurt to take the servers down that bad. But now after 100 million players, we're on every platform. You know, it takes 6 months just to like, or 6 weeks just to have a patch like ready and approved by everybody. And it better not break, you know what I mean? Like taking the servers down with over 100 million players like we got now is like devastating. Like, it's really bad to take the servers down. So we have to be very intentional about it nowadays.
Everything's got to be scheduled.
Back then he was like, "Oh man, let's add team damage, boom, and
done."
He just had it.
That's awesome.
So that was like my first like, oh, this is like a dev team that just listens to the community and gives them what they need, which to me is like the obvious path to success for a competitive game or for a game that relied, like it's all online, right? Like we're playing the same thing hundreds of times over and over, thousands of times over and over. So it's the people that make it. Ooh, it's getting intense over here.
Yeah, right?
I don't know if that's coming through the mics, but
it's pretty intense.
I love it, man. BCX.
Dude, finals day.
How far we've come
I know.
Origins.
It's crazy. I was here for BCX 2017 in this same venue, and it's crazy today compared to
That was oh my God, the production has gotten so much since then. It's nice to go back and think about the origins. I can see why you are doing this series. It's a cool series.
It's really fun. Can you tell me a little bit about kind of how that sort of progression went for you? So like you found the game, you started, you enjoyed it, you were pretty good at it.
I went right into ranked and I was like top 20 on my first day.
Wow.
I remember being disappointed that I saw that top, like when I was looking at the rankings, I saw that top 20 was all diamonds. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. Diamond must be top 20. If you get top 20 in the world, you get diamond. But no, I was just the 21st diamond. So I was like bummed out. But that is exactly why Valhalla works the way it does now, because of my experience there. When I had the opportunity to design it myself now, I was like, I wanted to be top X because I thought that was so cool when I was on the come up. So hopefully some hopeful Valhallans these days are feeling that same feeling that I was feeling back in the day. And they're not just going to be the 151st Valhallan. They're going to push somebody out to get them.
It has to be the top 150.
Yeah, I like it.
No, that's great. I love the way that system works.
So yeah, I played ranked pretty seriously, and then there was a tournament that happened. Raiden.
Oh yeah.
Raiden.
Oh, Raiden.
Are you out there, Raiden?
Yeah.
That guy, he was awesome. He was hosting a tournament. It was called Sweet and Salty Showdown.
Okay.
It's the first tournament that I like heard of since joining the community. Like, I started looking at the subreddit, and back then we all talked pretty exclusively on the subreddit back then, and so it was my first time seeing a tournament, anything like available to register for a tournament, and I actually reached out to him. I was like, dude, I want to like cast. I really want to compete in this, but I want to cast. So like, I showed him my like experience from a different game, Bloodline Champions. I've talked about it before. I've casted in that game before, so I showed him that. And I was just like, yeah, man, like let me in. It'll be awesome. I'll even like donate to the prize pool. And he was like, oh wow, keep your money, bro. Like I'll see you on Saturday, and we can do it. So I competed in that tournament, but I casted when I wasn't competing, which is insane to even think about doing nowadays. That's such a weird thing to do. But I would cast every match, and then it would be my turn to go, and it'd be like, all right, Raiden, wish me luck. And he's like, good luck. I'll see you afterward. And I'm like, hopefully I win. I'd go and do my match. He would solo cast it, and then I'd come back on afterward. And I ended up winning that tournament. So through the winners bracket too. So I never had to deal with coming back and like being like, oh man, that guy was too good. I just won. So it was always like, yeah, ooh. And I always like paid respect. I remember that my first match was against Egg Soup. It's the first time I ever heard of Egg Soup or met him. Crazy to think about those days. He played Sentinel, I remember, back in those days. And every match I remember feeling like cute, like I didn't know anybody. I had no reason to believe I was like better than anybody. Some people I ran into in ranked, but like it didn't take that many games to get up. Like it was a very small pool of people at that time. So it was intense. It was hard to get through that tournament. And the last match was against EXO, aka Daiku. Yeah, he used to be called EXO back then. And I knew him a little bit. I knew him as what a sick combo. I knew him as like the bad guy. He kind of played a heel back in the day. But now I know of it as a heel. Back then at the time I was like, this guy's a jerk. I was like, I need to knock this guy out because he was like the tournament champion. He was beating everybody. He was cocky about it. He was like, he had kind of like he just had a vibe about it that I wasn't sitting with nicely.
Wasn't it kind of crazy back then that wasn't Daiku and the EU players playing on NA servers back then too?
Daiku, which is even more like look how good he is, right? Because the ping was not in his favor. There was a couple things where like he did some moves that would catch people that like because of how the net code worked back then, he would kind of like not teleport, but like his startup frames were like a little more hidden on ground pound. And he would always like, but he did it well, right? Like I don't know. He was at a major disadvantage with all that ping, and he was still dominating everybody. So like he had an ego about it, or what appeared to be an ego. Right now, I know better now. Back then I was like, I'm not talking to this guy. he's like a jerk. I want to be like positive. Like I'm gonna knock him down. I'm gonna be the champion, and I'm gonna be positive about it instead of like this. And I did. I won that match. It was so intense. I have a video on my YouTube, not to promote, but I have a video on my YouTube of like the highlights of my highlights in that tournament. And we had our battle. As much as I disliked him at the time, because I literally never talked to him, This was all in my head. Our battle was so awesome. There was no, like, especially back then, the game's floaty, but not us. We were like, boom, 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 boom. We like barely dodged. We were like hitting each other. It was such a beatdown. It was so fun. I never fought a match like that. I ended up winning. I was super happy about it. And I still just didn't talk to EXO. He actually tried to reach out to me while I was streaming. Oh wait, I'm fast forwarding. So I did an interview with Raiden at the end of that one. And I remember, I don't know if it still exists anywhere, but I remember like really like appreciating the devs. Like I think it's so cool. The devs are listening to the community. Like I had only been in there for maybe a week or two at this point. but it was already obvious to me then, and all the way back then, right?
Yeah.
Now, you know, obviously we talk to the community. We're doing these dev streams all the time.
Right.
It's not news to anybody that we talk to the community. But back then, you know, even back then, it was happening. Even before I was part of the company, it was happening, like a lot.
Right.
And I appreciated that a lot. And I remember talking about that in my interview, kind of hoping that another dev was listening.
Right.
I don't know if they were, but it was awesome. So fast forward a little bit. I'm streaming a lot now. I'm the most recent tournament champion. So I'm getting a lot of really good spars on with people.
Right.
Ranked was like, it was tough to get a match at getting higher into ranked.
Yeah.
It was really hard just to even get a match.
Right.
You know, there was like you'd have to kind of like agree with other people to queue up.
Right.
But I remember when I finally got rank 1, it's because Tybo messaged me like, he was ranked 1 at the time. He's like, let's fight. Let's see if you can take it from me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was literally like, because otherwise, you're never gonna, it was just too few people at the time to really just grind up to rank 1. So it was actually a battle against, man, we love you, Tybo.
Yeah.
You know, he's around every now and then.
Yeah.
I talk to him, he's doing well. So yeah, Tybo messaged me like, let's battle. He was feeling like he didn't deserve rank 1, and he had it.
Oh, okay.
I was on the come up, and he was like, let's see if you can take it.
See if you can take it. That's
and I
great.
did, and he said something really nice I'll never forget. He says, rank 1 is finally finally held by somebody who deserves it. I was like, man.
That sounds exactly like Tybo, to be honest. Yeah.
He was so awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing was, he was amazing. Like, he would beat me plenty of times in rank. Our rank was like pretty even. Our record in rank was pretty even. Right. You know, he caught me on a lot of things. And you know, we even when we shortly after this continues the Origins. So me and Tybo joined a clan together.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, before this.
Oh, before that.
Me and Exo squashed the beef.
Oh,
there
okay.
was not even really beef there to begin with. It was all in my head. He reached out to me while I was streaming and was like, and I wouldn't listen at all. I completely hard ignored him because I didn't. It actually kind of helped me. I knew I would have to fight him again, and if he's a bad guy in my mind, it's easier.
Right,
so I was kind of ignoring him. But also, all I knew him as was like an ego, like just a mean guy. He's not a mean guy.
Yeah.
He really cared about the community. I wasn't seeing any of this. I never had the opportunity to see any of this. So he reached out to my teammate, Shadow, instead, while we were streaming. And he wrote this whole thing to Shadow, and Shadow read it to me, and I was like, oh man, this guy is not a jerk.
Right.
So I talked to him, and we just like, he's like, yeah man, like I'm sorry, I didn't realize how hard I came off, but like, that's not me. And I was like, dude, my bad. I completely thought you were serious. Like I did not like you, bro. And so immediately from then we were homies.
Right.
Right around then, 2v2 ranked comes out.
Okay.
The first day of 2v2 ranked, me and Exo grind to rank 1.
Oh,
and it was easy. Like me and Exo, that was too much at the time. That was overpowered, dude.
Right.
I think we were like 72-0 to get to rank 1.
That's crazy.
It was just so much. Also, Axe had just come out. Bryn just came out.
Okay.
And I hopped on Bryn real quick. I was playing Queen Nai. I forgot to mention that, but the OGs already know.
Yeah.
I was playing Queen Nai. So Bryn's spear went hand in hand, and Axe was working great in 2s.
Yeah.
And nothing has changed.
And nothing has changed.
I think there was an Axe in that last match. So it was like, it was just, that was so fun for me.
Right.
And so me and Exo formed a clan with Tybo and Shadow. We made a clan. It was called Lemons, LMNZ.
Nice. Okay.
This was before clans existed. Right. We would just put the tag in brackets.
Oh,
and everybody in the community really cared about the clan tags.
Right.
For some reason. Because, I don't know. It's funny, we cared about clans way more back then, before there were clans in the game, than after clans actually got added to the game. It was like a big deal. Everybody had a tag in front of their name. And so we made the Lemons clan. It was silly. We were just being silly.
Right.
and we did that for a while, and it was a lot of fun. I remember doing a 2v2 tournament against Tybo and EXO with me and Shadow, or no, me and Magma Bob.
Oh, Magma
Oh wait,
Bob,
I'm
yeah.
skipping stuff. Okay, whatever. Lemons was fine. Then we made the Boo Clan, which I'm still in right now.
Shout out to Boo, yeah.
Shout out to the Boo
Yeah.
Clan. That was me and EXO deciding to make a super clan. Like there was another super
right.
clan at the time, Jotunheimer.
Okay.
We wanted like the best of the best, only the best people.
Right.
And it'll be, but we're gonna be positive. We're gonna be
Right.
good for the community. We're gonna be, we're gonna be like stoic, like what's the word? Like elite, but like proper.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. We're gonna be stand up about it.
Right.
And so we recruited. It was me, Magma Bob, EXO, and Tybo. Was
Right.
our main squad. We also brought in a talent like Modern Shoe, and then
Okay.
eventually like Starlight joined.
Right.
Brian joined.
Right.
And it was just, you know, we wanted like every tournament to be won by somebody in Boo.
Okay.
And we were doing it. And this was me. I was starting to think like, oh, maybe I could start like an esports org and do something big in Brawlhalla Esports.
Oh.
Little did I know, you know.
Little did you
how
know.
that would change.
Right.
But we were doing that. It was a lot of fun. And finally, okay, so then, and you can actually look this up, there is a Reddit thread that Raiden posted. He had joined, after he had joined BMG, he was like the first community member to join BMG.
Right.
So BMG posted on Reddit, in the subreddit, about job openings. Like, hey, we're hiring.
Okay.
You know, it was mostly for C++ programmers because they were starting to port over to PlayStation and they needed a lot of help.
Okay.
I did programming, but like, not like BMG
Not like
programmers.
that? Yeah.
BMG programmers are amazing, and I know you are too. You're an amazing programmer.
Appreciate it.
Not
Thank
me,
you.
dude. I like barely program, but I program. I was like making games. I made like a text RPG in my that's me taking pictures of us. I made an online text MMO in my
Right.
Twitch chat, and I
that's
was
cool.
streaming myself programming that, and it was cool because whenever I make a change and hit save in the JavaScript, it just instantly happened in the game because it's only text. There's nothing to render.
Yeah.
There's nothing to compile. It just happens.
Right.
Because it's all just scripts. So it was a lot of fun. Anyway, I forgot why I brought up PhotoQuest. There was a reason to hire me.
Yeah. Right.
So that Reddit post, BMG puts a Reddit post up talking about hiring, and I replied to that Reddit post, and you could even see the reply, like it's still out there right now. Where I replied, just HMMMM, and I didn't say anything else. And then Tiveris DM'd me like frame one, like literally not even 5 minutes after, he DM'd me like, you want to talk? And I was like, yeah, I think I'd be a great fit in your company. And he was like, okay, let's talk. And
That's awesome.
And so we talked, and they flew me out to BMG to interview. You know, I had a really good job at the time. I was convinced that I was just going to do that for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I was having fun, traveling the world, working on robotics, like fun robotics too, not like efficient robotics. It's like silly, fun robotics.
Nice.
Which is all about, I'm all fun, silly.
Right.
So I wasn't like anticipating fully to work there, but I knew I wanted to. Because Brawlhalla is what I did with every moment of my free time. Okay. And I knew like that's the dream, like convert what your fun is, work on your passion. Right. So I interviewed with them, and it was a weird interview because we didn't know what I was interviewing for. Like, it wasn't to be a programmer. I did the programming test. I like passed, but like I did it like it took me twice as long to do it as the average candidate. Okay. So it wasn't gonna be programmer. The interview was like us brainstorming. Like, well, what can I do for you? Like, what can you do for us? You know, well, here's what I'm good at. And, you know, they're like, you're Foda. Like, we want to hire you, and I'm like, I want to work for you. We're like, all right, well, how do we do this? And so that was the whole time, and me just like learning about BMG and like how the game works. And I went on the dev stream, so much fun. And I left. Esports director hadn't even come up.
Right.
When I left. And I was in the airport on one of my connecting flights. And Tiberius called me up and he's like, "What about esports?" And I was like, "Oh, obviously,
right?
I'm like your esports guy already. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect." So I was into it, and so we're like, "Okay, we'll figure this out." So eventually it turned into esports director, and cool. So it's all set in stone. I'm gonna start in like 3 months. I have to finish up what I'm doing here. Can't leave my other company hanging. And then I'll join the team. And so it was all good. We did that. Tybo also at the time started an internship at BMG.
I remember that, yeah.
So to make it easier on him, because he didn't have the means to just intern there, because he lived far away. He lived in Michigan, where I lived at the time as well. So I was like, just come with me, bro. Like, we'll just road trip over there, and
that's cool.
he can like stay in one of my rooms, and we'll be roommates. So that's what we did. We went down there, came down to Georgia.
Right.
So we went down to Georgia, looking for esports to steal. That's so stupid. I've never said that before. I've never thought about saying that before. We joined BMG, and we were going to start on Monday. But we had moved into the house on Friday.
Right.
So we'd have some time. And there was a tournament on Sunday.
Oh.
The last clan battle. It was like the clan battle invitational or whatever.
Okay.
And this was our last,
kind of like the last hurrah before you go work for BMG.
Me, Tybo, and Exo, we all knew that we weren't ever going to compete again after this.
Right.
Because me and Tybo joined BMG. We
Right.
wouldn't be allowed to. So, but we didn't tell anybody. We were just competing. So we ended up winning that tournament. That was awesome. I won that last match against LDZ to get it. Ooh, I get goosebumps just thinking about that moment. and it was incredible. And we won. I popped off so hard, I disconnected my headset. I think my computer restarted after I won. And once I got everything back up and running, Duke and Sparky interviewed me.
Okay.
And that's when I dropped the bomb that I was like, okay, I have an announcement to make. I am not going to compete in tournaments anymore. Pause. Because I'm going to be the esports director of Brawlhalla. Oh, we're doing it.
That's such a
doing it officially. I was like popping off.
That's such a sick announcement to drop right after you win a tournament.
It was so perfect. It worked so perfect for, and it went so great. Chat was so like BMG, yes. And that was the start of it. That was the start of BMG officially.
Right.
Officially recognizing. They didn't recognize it before then.
Right.
Because they casted community tournaments before then. But this was the first time official Brawlhalla Esports.
They're starting to now invest in esports.
That was my job. That's what a lot of people ask me so what do you do when I started there?
Right.
I did not have a good answer.
Right.
I was I don't know, I'm gonna start up an esport, bro. I didn't have a good answer. I thought bringing esports orgs in, is that my job? That wasn't the job. The job was cultivate this.
Yeah.
Cultivate all this what we're doing right now. That was my job. Was cultivate the start of this, and that was a lot of miscellaneous stuff to do this, and I don't know. We just took it one day at a time. Right. But the big thing was that BMG had already committed to doing a world championship for $50,000 in November. I was hired around May.
Oh.
And so my job was okay, well,
how do we make this event work?
Out. Yeah. I was okay, we can do some online tournaments to lead up to the World Championship. How much money can we put into that? How much money does it cost to put that on? Right. We worked with a lot of community organizations like BCS,
right.
Duke, Winan, and Sarky, who are literally casting. I can hear them.
Yeah.
Crazy. Brawl League.
Brawl League,
with Brawl League at the time. Let's Pick Down, Toast. Toast. Toast? who is now the esports director.
Right.
That was I started working with him. And the community at the time was like completely volunteer.
Right.
We gave what we could, but it wasn't much, man. BMG was like barely.
It was very small back then.
We were barely not in the red, you know, like
okay.
we were not hemorrhaging money, but we were like not making money. It was barely breaking even, and that's what Matterhorn and Tiverus were dealing with most of the time. Was like not. They just need to keep the company afloat, not lose money. Which is like actually really hard to do in the world of video games.
As
really
honestly,
hard.
looking at all of the layoffs that are happening in gaming right now, like it's.
Yeah, so we've always done it slow and steady. Even now, our company is like 40 people.
Right.
Always slow and steady, and it's led to this, man. And I'm honestly so proud. You know, I don't talk about it much, but
yeah. For real, we're here.
Yeah.
We're at it. This is Brawlhalla Esports, where we are right now.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I'm proud of what we've done, and it started in a really small way, but once we did that first World Championship, BCX 2016, it was so obvious where we were gonna go.
Right.
You know? I believed in Brawlhalla from the start. From the moment I started playing the game, I was like, this is a void in the market that has been needed for a while. And Brawlhalla just happened to be the first one to get there. And they're doing it right.
Right.
It's unique. It's fun. It works online very well, right? The netcode was like, that was the secret sauce.
Oh, no, that was definitely.
It wasn't it. I came from Smash 64 netplay, where like 7 frames of input delay was like normal.
Right.
7 frames? Oh my God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's like when you're red barring. That's worse than, when you're red barring in Brawlhalla, you get 5 frames of input delay. That like, that's less than what optimal gameplay was for me in Smash 64 back when I was playing. Obviously, technology's come a long way in that department now, and they can do it with like 1 or 2 frames now.
Yeah.
But like input delay sucks, and Brawlhalla was avoiding it from day one.
Right.
Do it using rollback netcode. Brawlhalla pioneered its own rollback netcode. Like I know, like. There's netcode libraries that exist now, rollback netcode libraries that exist now. GGPO is open source. You know, there's good rollback netcode libraries that you can reference now. But BMG just made its own up. They just like Chill Penguin X, bless that man.
Yeah.
Just like looking on Wikipedia, looking up incomplete documentation in Microsoft. Like he's just flying by the seat of his pants and made what was the most advanced fighting game netcode to have existed at that moment in time.
Right.
It truly was. You know, I know people played and they're like, oh, I teleported. This game's laggy. But like, that's the thing about fighting games. Like, everybody needs to see the exact same thing at the exact same time all the time.
Right.
You cannot hide lag anywhere.
Right.
That's why we just show you a teleport, because it's faster. That at least you had control of your character.
Right.
You know, in a first-person shooter, you can hide it. You can do all this math when you press the button.
Yeah.
And then the bullet travel time, where they would be, the momentum of the character they were shooting at.
Right.
There's so much math you can do to like, it's not that the bullet didn't need actual collision with an object.
Right.
They use math to make it happen. Same thing in like MOBAs, you know.
Yeah.
When you're using click to move, you can hide so much in like this queue of commands when you're controlling a character.
Right.
Fighting game is the snappiest. Like the speed of light is literally not fast enough.
Right.
You can to play with somebody across the world, you can't. Even if you had perfectly the speed of light, it's not fast enough to show you the same thing on both ends. So it takes like special programming that we call rollback netcode to do that. That was the secret sauce, man. That's why I think that's one of the biggest reasons. So it's community, it's the rollback netcode, and a little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck. And being free to play certainly helped.
Free to play.
Because I keep seeing
that was a good way to do it.
I keep seeing all these other platform fighters come up that have the buy-in, and It's
I'm
tough.
not saying anything about
I know you can't.
We
so
love
I'll-
all platform fighters.
No,
but it's true.
Any platform fighters coming in.
You need a healthy queue. As
Right.
soon as you have a competitive game that does not have a healthy queue,
That's when
you're
things
doomed.
start to.
You're super doomed. So you need the free players
Right.
to have people to play against. You know, you can put bots in the game, but that doesn't work.
It doesn't work for-
you outgrow the bots so
very
fast.
quickly, yeah.
It's good for like starting, like, you know, you play Fortnite, you're gonna fight some bots at the beginning. That's smart. That's a smart thing to do. But like, you just need you need a community.
Right.
Especially for a fighting game. You need a lot of people to play against. Because even, you know, there are plenty of fighting games out there that have like a tiny community that
Right.
are still thriving, but they're playing against the same people every time, which
Right.
is like fun. Don't get me wrong. Me and Shadow still play Slap City together sometimes when there's
Right.
like 8 people online. I know those guys. We'll play with them. It's
Right.
fun. But to be able to just queue up and play against someone your skill level that you've never heard of regularly is like amazing and like tantamount to the health of a platform of any
Right.
online fighting game. So yeah, free to play. That's the move. That's the
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
And luckily, that was good.
Twos is going
That was
crazy in the
good.
background right now.
Radish and McD just got. Oh, it's game 5 against Acno and Blaze. Oh,
That's
don't let me
crazy.
start casting.
Hold
Don't
on,
let me
hold
start- Dude, we're in game 5, Acno and Blaze versus McD and Radish, and this is elimination bracket, right? This is Tom 4 eliminate.
Yeah.
Whoever gets this
Yes.
gets to go to losers final.
Right.
So this is kind of a big deal, and McD and Radish are looking nice. Anyway, let's keep going.
Let's try to bring it back.
Don't let
We're
me
gonna be
cast.
stuck.
Don't let me start casting.
Yeah. What can you tell me about? We're getting
I used a
low
lot
on
of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's great. This
Okay,
is-
yeah.
That's
No,
exactly what I was
you get
hoping
me talking.
for. So,
You're gonna have to edit this down probably.
no, it's totally fine. Let's talk a little bit about sort of like the years between like the first BCX and like 2019, 2020, like the progression in
Yeah,
Brawlhalla. What can
steady
you
growth.
tell me about like the way that sort of like BMG invested in things, kind of like your role in sort of like managing like the esports side of things and all of
Yeah.
that?
Okay. Yeah. It was steady growth. The player numbers kept increasing slowly but surely. We were going to PAXs and creating fans by engaging with the community. You know, we launched on PlayStation somewhere in there, like late 2017, early 2018.
Right.
That was big for us, because even now, PlayStation actually is our biggest player base.
Right.
Even more than PC. Even though our PC community is very, very engaged.
Right.
So PS4 was really big for us in terms of just adding numbers, right? So that increases the amount of revenue we can generate. And BMG always invested heavily in esports. We took esports as a marketing expense.
Okay.
We've never profited. We've never even come close to profiting off
Yeah.
of esports. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This is an over $1 million event.
Right.
We don't make $1 million in skin sales that we can just throw away. It's an investment. It's a marketing investment. Agno and Blaze win.
Agno and Blaze
Oh
win.
man,
That's-
I was really cheering. I love that they won.
Yeah.
I was cheering for Radish and Meggy.
Radish and Magdy were playing out of their
They played
mind.
so well.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to Agno and Blaze.
Yeah.
By the time this is released, they already know who won.
Right.
Too.
True.
Don't spoil it.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, please. So yeah, slow and steady growth. BMG always investing in esports. You know what? The biggest thing that started happening for us as esports grew was that we could start paying the volunteers
Yeah.
for becoming contractors. You know,
Right.
And that was a dream. Every time we could like properly compensate people, that was great because.
Nice.
Bro, like we really did thrive a lot, like because of the passion of the people who cared enough about it.
Right.
Right. And I was one of those people at a certain point in time. Every tournament that I won, besides the sweet and salty, was my own tournament that I put my own money up for. That I was like, well, I'll try to win 70% of it back. And it was. A lot of people invested a lot, not just BMG. BMG invested revenue, in a very, very, what's the word? Not like not in a charitable way, but very generously.
Right.
Very generously
Right.
invested in esports because it was community. The community cared, you know, and they cared about the community. They always have, and still do.
Absolutely.
Still do. I do.
Yeah.
And that was huge, man. That was huge for us. So getting into 2019, that's when we started. That's when like talk about hertz was like on the table.
Right.
Oh, what 140.
Making sure,
You gotta get
trying to get input delay as low as possible.
Yeah. Once we like figured out that was even a thing, you
right?
know, like reducing input delay in every way we can. So 144 hertz was a big thing for us, and we bought 144 hertz monitors.
Right.
Which seemed crazy at the time. Like we didn't have that kind of money, but like we just bought as many 144 hertz monitors as we could get. We were renting them. We were pulling them from other places in DreamHack so we could have them at our tournaments. Partnering with DreamHack.
Oh yeah,
that was a nice
big.
one. Yeah, that was big for us. So
I mean, I remember
great.
BMG doing as much as they could to try to up the level of making everything more competitive.
Like I was the esports director, and I competed in esports.
Right.
I knew what all I wanted was the best. Was a fair competition with everybody playing as best as they possibly could be.
Right.
So like we fought for 8-foot tables, and like if a venue had 6-foot tables for us, we were like we fought them for that stuff. Like we needed 8-foot tables because when it came time for 2v2, like you can't have 4 keyboards in a row on a table on a 6-foot table.
Right.
You need at least 8. So like we fight for 8-foot tables. You know, we did everything we can. Oh look, we're on the we're showing up on the screen. Maybe you could like match this up in the YouTube video.
Spoilers for the people that don't know that this interview is happening. We are starting to run a little shorter on time.
Okay, I'll answer your next question.
So I want to, since we're getting close to the end, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about sort of like your transition from Director of Esports to Design Lead of Brawlhalla.
Oh, what a blessing.
I mean, first of all, it seems like just an amazing thing that has happened, both for you and for the community and for Brawlhalla.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Can you tell me sort of like whatever you can about sort of the lead up to that transition, the decision being made, like all of that stuff?
Yeah. Well, there was a small shift in how BMG was operating. You know, Tiveris had left the company. He retired. Right. Good for him. He built it. He made it thrive, and then he peaced out. You know, and we were all happy for him. You know?
Yeah.
You know, Steven.
Right.
My favorite co-caster. Oh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell Taz I said that. Taz is actually, they're both my favorite. But, and TWK too. I love my co-casters.
Yeah.
I love casting with Steven. We did a block yesterday. It was awesome. He's an amazing animator. He was promoted to lead animator.
Okay.
Rachel, such a talented illustrator, promoted to lead illustrator. So we had this idea now of like having team leads.
Right.
And then setting me up as the lead design that works with all the leads was like his way of, you know, using all of my passion and everything I had learned over those 7-8 years to do what I'm doing now. You know, he always knew I cared about the game. I got to have input over the game, but I was doing esports. You know, I didn't get to like make a decision that would like impact the entire game all that much. And now that's all I do, and I love it. I feel like I know what the players want,
right?
Because I know what I want.
Yeah.
And I talk to the players all the time.
Right.
So there are some things. Obviously, the wish list of stuff we want is incredibly long, and my wish list of stuff that I want, which overlaps greatly with the wish list of stuff you want. Trust me. There's a lot of things to consider. That is not just like, well, let's do that next. There's so many things to do. What's the next best thing to do for Brawlhalla? What gets the most benefit to the community? What's the most benefit to revenue? Because that literally matters. The company needs to stay afloat. And those things are surprisingly overlap a lot. You know? If you do something that the community loves, if you do something that creates, that has more players log on and more players logging on because they're having fun, equals more revenue.
Exactly.
So, and that's, back to the secret sauce of like, listen to the community, give the community what they want, work with the community. Back in those early days, that is just was exactly as true today because of that. Because from a business perspective, it literally just translates to more revenue, and then bigger prize pools and bigger for higher production for the events and stuff like that. So for me, it's a dream come true. If I could go back and tell 11-year-old me when he was playing Smash 64 and whooping up all the friends in his neighborhood, that like there's gonna be a way sicker platform fighter, and you're gonna be the lead designer of it. That's like, oh my God.
That's like,
this is my dream. I am living my dream. I'm so happy about it. Absolutely blessed because it's the Brawlhalla community that made it possible for me.
Right.
So I'm over the moon about it. I'm having a lot of fun. Obviously, there are challenges with it. It can be difficult, but it's also the best job I've ever had, best job I think I'll ever have. And I'm convinced I am with Brawlhalla forever.
Nice.
I think we've got another 10 years.
Awesome.
Ask me in 10 years how much longer I think we'll go, but I'll easy another 10 years. And I'm gonna be there, and we're cooking up so many good things, man. We're cooking up so many good things.
Nice.
That thing you've been dreaming of to finally get, that we've all been talking about getting, and we've been saying like, oh yeah, soon. Like dude, like clans, the clan update. It's gonna take some time, but it's gonna be so awesome, dude. It's gonna be so awesome. I don't want to start revealing things.
But let's back up.
We are cooking, and it's going to be really great. And I so love that I get to champion those ideas.
Yes.
I don't really get to just be like, this is what we're doing because I said so. It all needs to make sense. But I get to champion the ideas of like, here's what we should do.
Nice.
And it's the freaking best, man. It's the best.
I'm personally excited for the future of Brawlhalla. I think it's going to be super sick.
Starting with Backdash. We're going to get this new Backdash graduated right after BCX.
That's awesome.
And a whole new level of Brawlhalla gameplay.
Well, I think that's going to be where we ended off. Foda, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to me today.
When the Atrophius Origins, was that episode 1?
It was episode 0, and it was kind of lame, so I think I'm going to do another one at some point.
Okay, because Atrophius, you're a part of all this too. You were there with us every step of the way. We have traveled the world together.
True.
Competing in these tournaments. You were competing in these tournaments. I was cheering, I remember meeting you in 2017 with Auto Breaker. You whooped my butt with Mordex. And I was like, I didn't know Scythe could do this. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Well, I appreciate you saying that. And since you brought that up, I'm going to, as a special treat, since this is the season finale, reveal who the first episode of season 2 is.
Who is it?
Sandstorm.
Oh!
So...
Okay,
be excited for that.
Season 2, everybody.
Season 2 coming early next year. Sandstorm, episode 1. It's going to be amazing. Foda, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure, Atrophius.
Thank you so much for doing this. Subscribe. Thank you. All right.
Thanks for watching the Season 1 finale of Brawlhalla Origins. The show's going to take a short break for the holidays, but Brawlhalla Origins will be back in January. Follow me on Twitter at Atrophius to stay updated on the upcoming episodes. Leave a comment on YouTube or tweet at me with the hashtag Brawlhalla Origins to let me know your thoughts on the show. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, please subscribe and share. Don't forget to check out BrawlAcademy.com. Thanks.